Hello guys, we are in a game of trailmakers. Trailmakers meaning we are going to show you today about some lovely tank mechanics in the game. Okay, to show off exactly what I mean by that, I am going to scroll through said whole bunch of items. And we are going to show you where I first started in Trailmakers. Where I first started is basically, I started building normal tanks, and I realized that a lot of these tanks, for instance, like your major, just whatever, your major tanks that you would normally see, I've upgraded, which, like, for instance, this one right here that I have on, or, like, showing these right here. This is just a box. But I can't, Bob. I'm trying to make YouTube videos. Sorry, I have people calling me and random things. So sorry about that. I am going to, show you basically what I mean, how you put armor and stuff on it. This right here is supposed to be a turtle tank from, T-80 turtle tank from, Russia. They are using this currently in Ukraine. This right here is spatial armor. What this is a basic armor that is spread out away from the tank. So meaning when an basically when any internal, what's it called? When a lovely, I'm trying to think here, what is this called? Why am I, whenever I go to do YouTube videos, this fails so brutally. But anyways, as I was saying, a very lovely way of making armor is by making this, which is what you're seeing here. This is for drones. That's what I was trying to think here. Like, I have a drone in the very beginning of my creations. This drone would damage only the armor on the outside compared to what would be normally. And meaning you have more of a chance of surviving. So now I have created more options like this heavy weight blocks placed all over around this Bradley. This Bradley has armor packs now. And yes, don't worry about him. He's sending me an invite because he's in my party. And he hears that I'm doing YouTube videos along with Robbie. Everybody's always got to, like, interfere or do something. But anyways, basically, for an example, here is another drone. These drones would do top-down on tanks. These things hurt dramatically, along with the way that Trailmakers works and stuff like that. They added this new update where it's like collision damage. Collision damage does a lot of damage. When you run into things, it makes it glowy, like it nearly breaks things. So that changes a lot when it comes to tank physics now. So now we have to deal with how do you protect tanks. Instead of going around in circles and telling you about like how I did all the armor and what I did, I'm gonna cut to the straight to it and give you the facts. The facts about it is the more realistic look that you do in a tank, for instance, like this, you're not getting a good, like, how do I explain it? A good protection. You're always going to die or something's going to happen. Things are going to blow off of your thing because you don't have much protection. You're a tin can. Alright, so I've made random things, as you can tell, to figure out, like, ways of doing armor. And over the years, I have learned a few tricks. As you can see, some things are a little bit different than others. Now, this is one of my more favorite builds that I have done. This is an IFV, or APC, transporting unit. Basically meant for transporting infantry into the battle. Has, like, obviously a turret and stuff like that that you normally would use, but also has places where you can put infantry. See, the issue is, how do you create good armor? Well, if you look very closely, in this model, I have used fold-up armor at the bottom here to fold up around the edges where you can't place armor. And this takes 14 ohms, so meaning 14 shots to a tiny cannon, which is the weakest thing in the game. or the weakest gun in the game. Now, if you were using a blaster, it'd be a bit different. Blasters are extremely overpowered, and the reason why people don't like using them as battle like weapons. So these shields combined with these heavy blocks do a big number of protection. These also are 14 ohms too. These shields, these type of shields. But the best thing in the game right here is, believe it or not, these archer pins. These take 30 ohms. For the longest time, I did not want to tell anybody about my armor, or about my armor tricks, because I have spent hours, countless of hours, searching for the best. And the best is this right here. This takes 30 ohms, meaning for a blaster shot, it takes quite a few shots. I have not counted how many shots with a blaster yet, but you can go ahead and do that for your assumptions yourself if you would like to. But just know that this is the best armor right here. The issue with this is the fact it's a one block thing. So meaning you literally, to do one square like this right here, would take 4 of these. Meaning you're going to deal with a lot of complexity limit. Which you can see up here, I'm at 699 complexity out of 700. Now I'm on Xbox, so meaning I can't just do this thing called have a complexity mod. So it makes it a bit more of a issue. Meaning, still, I'm running into an issue of how to protect. Now you can see that's why I have shields. Those actual, like, shields. Not the like, block shields that you place on your thing. And they should name that. Force fields, I should say. Force fields and shields. Shields are the ones you place on your builds, like I just showed you a second ago. And then the force fields are the ones that have the bubble on the outside. Now, force fields are pretty good at protecting, but they are not so good when it comes to EMPs. EMPs take out drones, but also take out shields. So meaning, it's very difficult to protect yourself inside of trailmakers. So you have to come up with random ways, meaning these type of things right here don't necessarily look realistic or would be composited armor, meaning explosive reactive armor when it is hit by a projectile. That's what it would be in real life. But in here, we do not have such so. So meaning this is what we have to deal with, is armor. Now, you can tell I have shields on the side, which take 14 ohms, but then also behind it, I have the 14 ohm stacked heavy blocks. They're stacked, as you can see. They're not, like, how do I explain it? They're not placed sideways, like this would be on the outside. This is stacked. So meaning you get a little bit more protection there. And it creates a little bit more of a better, let's just say, a better internal, like, hiding armor. So you can hide armor a little easier. But still, you're not getting away with having the most amount of protection. Now, this is for another future project, but multiple different sections to build a boat. We are only basing off of armor today, so meaning that'll be another video. But, as you can see, that I have created multiple different types of armor. Now, there is many different types of ways of making armor. Now, you can make the light variant of armor, where you just put, these take, I believe, 4 ohms. Most blocks take 4 ohms, so 4 shots to a tiny cannon, or a tiny blaster, or whatever. The tiny little cannon thing, it's not like a cannon in the game, but the tiny little, I'll show you here in a second. Right here. Tiny, or smart cannon, that's what they're called. Smart cannons. These smart cannons don't do much damage. They are the weakest, or better yet, tiny cannon. These two right here are the weakest guns in the game, besides this one too. This is also weak. This is pretty strong, this is pretty strong, and this is pretty strong, along with all these. But, so now you're dealing with the 4 ohms that I'm talking about. So these are called light armor blocks. Typically what most things are built out of. So meaning it's not going to protect you nearly as much as what many other things are. Now you have this thing, like I said, spatial armor. This is supposed to be a spatial armor. Looks invisible, but it's not. Meaning it's in, like, they have like a mesh looking thing or a decal, making it look like that. That's why I have these on the outside, protecting the Bradley just that little bit more. Meaning I get that little bit more protection out of it. Now if you want to go to an extra step, you can take spaced armor like this along with this, creating a spaced armor effect. Yes, it does not look very well, of course, but in real life, this is kind of what it would be like. You would put cage around a Humvee like this, because you would have this impact damage. Sorry for the damage, but this is just to show you. You would get yourself a drone here that only has 2 TNT, obviously, because it's not that, like, damaged. It's not going to blow up the whole thing. But you run into this. And the space armor, obviously, does the majority of protection. So meaning, as you can see here, as we demonstrated, this Humvee is totally fine because of the spaced armor. Now, if I got rid of it, meaning if I did this and just put the Humvee with slight armor on the side for protecting the wheels, now we are going to deal with a great amount of damage. This means this Humvee is almost going to be disabled from this 1 or 2 TNT. Oh, my bad. Did not mean to do... Oh. Okay. Stupid drone problems. I have sensitivity things on the thing for another thing, but basically just making it so, yeah, when you do that, it runs and blows up into it. Automaticness. But yeah, as you can see, heavy damage to this lovely Humvee here. Meaning it would not be able to take nearly as many shots protecting. So meaning you come up with random things like this. Spaced armor that has both of the best things in it wrapped around your vehicle, but also giving protection inside the vehicle too at the same time. So if you look in here, you can actually see the whole walls in there are also the same thing. They are currently heavy armor blocks, making the whole shell of this thing almost invincible to a lot of things. Maybe not everything, obviously, because the way Trailmakers is very, 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 how to explain? Hard to protect things. So, it's either you go for functionality or non-functionality, like protection. As you can see, this is more of a functionality build. It doesn't have nearly the amount of protection in it that it could have. It could have way, way more protection. But anyways, to cut that video short, I showed you random things about how to protect your Trailmakers build. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, and comment down below what you would like to see next time. Have a nice day.